Christmas has come early in Star Citizen because CIG has done something that I don't think anyone was expecting from CIG, which is they've just released a brand new starter ship, if you guys haven't seen, and it is an alien starter ship for the low price of, I was going to say 100 because my brain is so boggled, for $70. This is what it looks like. This is the first thing of this week. I think that probably the biggest news of this week is that the IAE comes with day one, the Gatac Syulen, I think is what it's called, if I'm saying that right. It's $70 or $72 on the store right now. I think it's default $85 after the ship sale ends here in about 2 weeks on the 30th. I think that's going to go back down to $85 or back up rather. But man, this is looking, I've already got a chance to fly this and look at it. It looks like an incredible ship to me personally. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think that for 0 to hero challenges, this is going to be great. However, I will say that probably the biggest disappointment with this, or not really disappointment, but the thing that I would say would stop me from keeping this as a ship I'd recommend to brand new players is the vertical takeoff and landing. It's a little bit daunting to get used to. This is a ship that I feel like someone who has gotten a hang of the flight model is going to love, or this is going to be a ship that people love for new players when they add a landing cam in. Other than that, I think it looks phenomenal. Yeah, someone in chat says hashtag ad. Listen, guys, I'm really not trying to be a sellout too much. I typically am not a sellout for ships, but I am just like shocked. I'm shocked that this ship is $70. I think, like, what were you guys expecting in terms of price? 150, 125. I think it flies great in Atmo. Its maneuvering is really good. It has decent weapons. Its pitch and yaw rate is really good. So even in combat with other starter ships, it holds its own. It's got a massive cross section, only 2 size 1 shields. It's got a size 1 quantum. And so you would think that this thing isn't going to do that great in combat. And in PvP, it won't. Against a Arrow or a Gladius, it's going to get destroyed. But that's okay, because again, it's a starter ship. It's not a combat ship. But my point is, for even how big it is, it's going to hold its own. Yeah, a lot of people are saying $80, $90, $100. I was just thinking with alien tax, we were going to see upwards of maybe $125, $150. So for them to drop this at $70, at least at its current price, I think is a steal. I think this is a beautiful ship. Probably the most unique and interesting looking ship in Star Citizen so far. I think I have some other views of it. Yeah, this is it inside of the hangar. When I pulled it out, I mean, it's so funny. It looks exactly like this. Like, it's just such a cinematic ship. It looks almost like a Thargoid ship from ED, or maybe like a what is it called? A not monopod, from Arrival. What I'm talking about, the octopods or whatever they're called, the septopods. And I think that it has a very weird look to it, which I love. Airplane ships, I think, are overrated. I love weird looking ships, especially in space. Like, it's okay for ships to like come out like this and not be that good in atmosphere. However, the lore Handwavium is that these aliens have access to Gravlov tech, so they can kind of like supersede aerodynamics a little bit. But for the most part, it's pretty arrow shaped, so it's not going to be bad in atmosphere, and it flies pretty well. I think top speed was like at like 3,000 height on Microtech was 350, 320, somewhere around there. This is the inside. They said the devs are calling this the cathedral. This is the cockpit, and it literally magnetized, scoops you up to the top, and this like really Gundam-like mech animation. It gives you a really surreal feeling whenever you're like getting into the pilot seat for the first time. So that's the Gatac Syulen. I keep on wanting to say like the Syulen, but it's Syulen, but it's Syulen, Gatac Syulen. Also leaked, this is a little bit of a spoiler. This is a leak that we saw this is straight from the pipeline. If you guys don't know them, they're a Discord that basically puts out a lot of information on stuff like this and leaks. And they, I guess, data mined this model of a RSI mining ship, and I forget the name of it. It's the Arasist or something like that. I actually have the text right here. The RSI Astra. Is that how you say it? Arastra? Yeah, Astra. So this is a heavy mining ship, and I'm going to read this for you here, okay? With all the risks involved in mining in the universe, vast stores of valuable resources, Roberts Space Industries wants to make sure that choosing the right ship isn't one of them. The Astra industrial mining platform was concepted from the struts up with safety and efficiency in mind. Gotta love those struts. Remote operator seats provide extra protection for you and your crew. Onboard refinery is ideal for a more profitable workflow, and the automated material storage pipeline, shout out to them, effortlessly prepares the gathering of your resources for transfer, and the auxiliary garage allows for increased operational flexibility while on worksite. I don't know, auxiliary garage, interesting. Like, I wonder if this thing's going to have a drop down. The idea is that we're going to get this as a concept this week, but nobody's really sure. Yeah, so RSI Astra, heavy mining ship. We'll have to see more about it. Now, listen, this next thing I'm going to show, guys, I have no idea if this is real or not. This is a real leak. This is we're probably going to see this week. This next one I'm about to show you might not be real. I'm just warning you. It might not be real. So someone is comparing this, which was shown at the CitizenCon, as one of the ships that were like secret. They hid it, most of it. This is a Fury overlaid on it. So there's this thought that there's going to be a heavy Murai Fury heavy fighter is what people are saying. Maybe like 4 size 3s or 4 size 4s. I think it looks awesome. It looks like a TIE Defender almost. If it did come out, the Fury already kind of looks like that, right? But will this ever actually exist? I don't know. Purely speculation. Again, this is from Pipeline, but I'm not really sure. Up next, what's this? Oh, Tumbril Storm. How many of you guys have messed with the Tumbril Storm? How many of you guys have messed with the Tumbril Storm? Personally, I gave it a good run. I played it for about 6 hours yesterday, or maybe it was this weekend. But man, so far I'm really digging it. I wasn't expecting a repeater. I was expecting a cannon. The whole idea is it's supposed to be a scout, right? It's supposed to be a scout tank, and so it's fast. It's really fast. My biggest concern right now with it is that these wheels, or the tracks rather, don't really move up and down a whole lot. And so whenever you're driving it through like the desert or like Daymar or wherever, it kind of feels like a little bit rough anytime stiff is maybe the right word. It feels very stiff anytime you encounter any obstacle at all. The other thing is that while very fun and you're going to be in the remote turret most of the time, the slit that you get to look through the like viewport is very thin, and so I think you're probably going to want to use the remote turret most of the time when you're in this. It's I think overall really fun. I think that people are going to enjoy using it for like things like ground missions like this. I would love to see this have a viable role in PvP. I will say that probably the biggest bummer with the Storm is it has a 40-degree vertical angle on the turret that's limited by, so you can't look up any more than that. So if a ship hovers above you and shoots down on you at above 40 degrees, you're just dead. There's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. So maybe you have to have a second one of these things watching your back, or it's not supposed to roll by itself. Maybe you need a ballista with you or something like that. Yeah, people in chat are agreeing it has like no suspension. It's pretty wild how little suspension this thing has. And maybe they're still working on it. Maybe it's just, first iteration. They were trying to make it for the IAE. I don't know what this next picture is, but I think that might be it for the Storm. Oh, yeah. What I was going to say was I was wondering why they didn't want the turret to look straight up and like make it maybe a kind of proper anti-air. Well, we got our answer. Some of you guys guessed this with the sneak peek. This is, again, from leaks. This is I guess, a look into the Storm AA. Which, do I have a better picture? I don't think I do, but it looks like the Storm, but it has this huge missile rack on top of it. And the thing that I wanted to highlight the most was, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 missiles it's firing, guys. 8. So right now, the most amount of missiles you can fire is 4. So this is going to be pushing the upward limits of how many missiles you can fire at a time. Hopefully we're not being debated. Hopefully you can fire more than 4 missiles. It sure looks like that, but currently at the moment, There's been things that they've showed off like this that don't actually line up with reality in the game. Like the A1 bombs, for example, they made it look like they could drop a lot faster, and that's not the case. So maybe this is a bit of a debate. I hope not. But yeah, the Tumblr AA looks, or sorry, you guys are making fun of the way I'm saying it. Maybe it's my Texan coming, Tumblr. Never mind. You guys get what I'm saying. I'm not gonna try. My text is popping out. Tumblr. The Tumbril Storm, partner. All right, up next. Yeah, this is a look at the missiles and stuff. I think they look good. These, I think, are size 2. These are size 1. Up next, we have some changes to the release view of the roadmap roundup. This was November 15th. If you guys didn't see it, these are the notable changes. Notable changes. So, first up, we have player hair update, updating the Star Citizen's character customization with 20 new hairstyles from Squadron 42. This includes long hair, tied hair, and updates to existing short hair. The following cards have been added to release view, targeting a release in Q4 Alpha 2322. Sorry, I read that so weird. I don't know if player update for the hair is going to make it in 322 or if it just means everything after this. So this is what's for sure going to make it in 322. We have new derelict settlements both gameplay and social element throughout the Stanton system. I wonder if these are the settlements we've seen in Pyro are now being ported over. That's what I wonder, if that's what this is. I wonder if the Pyro outposts are now going to be in Stanton. That's really interesting. Interesting. Arena Commander, new map, Bloodshot Ridge. Sounds like Blood Gulch. One of Stanton's derelict settlements joins Arena Commander for the FPS game modes and all flight modes except for Race and Pirate Swarm. New map, Maker's Point. A rough and stormy settlement on Hurston, Maker's Point is making its way into all FPS modes in Arena Commander. And then the last one, multi-crew and spawn locations, updating all maps to utilize a new spawn location system for spawn selection. Okay, very cool. This update will also enable long-awaited multi-crew and squadron battle, Pirate Swarm, Vandal Swarm, Team Tank Battle. Oh, cool! Team Tank Battle and Free Flight. That is awesome. I think having an independent tank like Turret Gunner is going to be really cool for that mode. That's really cool. Cornhole tournaments, maybe. Anything's possible in Arena Commander now. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Can you tell us what's up with the replication layer split? According to the roadmap, it's supposed to be included in 321. Yeah, it's just supposed to be on replication layer. So if you guys don't know, that's a little bit of more information, is that Pyro playtest is over. I believe it's completely over. And replication is going to be on the tech preview next, is how that's going to work. So up next, guys, a little bit more news on the IAE from Whitley's guide, or a message from Whitley's guide, is that Jax McCleary is not going to be at the IAE this year. Basically, they I'm not going to read this whole thing, but essentially they go like, oh, it's, not safe, or, there's an issue with us making it, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people are speculating, oh, is this like bait for like they're hyping it up or something? Or like, could they not like get the actor back or whatever? People were speculating heavily. And if you guys don't know, Xylo actually came in and he clarified, this is Buster the Destroyer's post. And they said the reason Jax is on hiatus this year is because the entire cinematic group is focused on Squadron 42. Sorry if that ruins any immersion, but it's important to get ahead of any misinformation spreading. So good information from Tyler there. Yeah, I think that's totally understandable. I think that everyone knows, everyone feels like they're wrapping the corner of the finish line for Squadron. The question is, are they going to be able to get everything done in the next 12 months? We'll see. I think this is a good sign of that they're putting like a lot of resources into cinematics, because that's probably going to be for marketing, most likely, right? Or like maybe openers or whatever. So they're tidying things up, it feels like. So next change for the IAE is the Warbond CCUs. So Warbond CCUs used to be available for the day of, and also the best in show at the end, where all of them are available. Every manufacturer is available, correct? And now you can only CCU with Warbond the first 24 hours of the manufacturer every day, correct? Is that it? And a lot of people are like, why are they even making this change? This is a little bit weird. What's going on? Like, is there a reason that they made this change? And basically, they're just saying that I think that the consensus is that they're trying something new. The other thing that they said was that the referral for the IAE will not be included this year. There's not going to be a referral reward for the IAE. So I don't know. Is it maybe a little bit of FOMO marketing? They're trying to get people to buy early instead of waiting till the end of the IAE to buy. Maybe. I'm not really sure. In my opinion, I don't really play the CCU game that much. So missing out on a Warbond CCU daily deal is not really a big deal for me. But I understand a lot of people, literally, their main gameplay in Star Citizen is playing the Pledge Store. So I totally understand why this might peeve some people off. Not me, though. Yeah, not me. Okay, and then the last thing is that Star Citizen is now doing a free fly from today. It started about 2.5 hours, 3 hours ago, and it's going to be running until November 30th. By the way, guys, now would be the time to jump in if you want to talk on the show. We are going to take about 5 or 6 guests. If anyone wants to jump in, I'll put you in the same order. So where you're going to go is in Discord in the HTL waiting room, and I'll pull you guys in. So I was playing the IA I was playing the IE this morning. It seemed like there was a lot of it seemed like there was a lot of new players. I can't really speak definitively on that. It did seem like there was like a lot of starter ships flying around. I saw a Mustang and a couple other ships, but so far I would say that the IE is performing pretty well. We'll have to see how it hits peak hours this weekend. But for now, guys, that's all the news on the IE. Would anyone like to come share their thoughts? Would anyone like to come share their thoughts on anything we've talked about? The lack of referral bonus was a negative for me. Yeah, I thought that was a little weird. They could have done at least a cosmetic or something. Last call, guys, for anyone who wants to hop in Discord. We don't have to have any callers, but if anyone wants to give their thoughts on maybe the state of starter ships, or you want to talk about, the AA versus the Storm or whatever, or you want to talk about the IAE changes, now would be the time. If anyone wants to hop in. I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to decide. I did not realize there was so much chat down there. All right. Cross-section vulnerability. Yeah, there's going to be cross-section vulnerability for sure. Okay, Dilly wants to talk. All right. Anyone else? Yo, what's up, dude? Hold on. Can you give me 1 second? I'm going to set up this virtual cam to hopefully record your voice. Can you go ahead and give me some test audio?
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Okay, hold on. All right, one more time.
Testing 1 2 3.
Nice. Okay. Hold on. Let me just update your name here. Are you just coming to shoot the shit, or you actually have something to talk about?
Mostly just to shoot the shit, because I did want you to have to be alone. But
that's okay. We don't have to have callers if nobody wants to talk about anything.
Long time watcher, first time caller.
Okay. I'm just gonna put Dilly. Is that okay?
That works for me, man.
Okay, cool. All right. What's up, bro? You have anything you want to talk about? New ship or anything?
No, starter ships, right? Just we were talking about starter ships. I think the Titan is the best bang for the buck, most versatile, not the most inexpensive, but the most versatile, because I still use it as a daily driver.
Yeah, I still think the Nomad's really great, right? Like a lot of people are still underselling it because it has a tractor beam. How do you feel like your opinion is going to be the same of it next week when it's $85?
Yeah, so because we play a buggy game, there's been instances where the Titan still worked because the ramp and being able to get in the cockpit, the versatility of that, where the Nomad only has one way to get in and out of the ship. Its weapon suite is super versatile. Its cargo, the bed, it's just hard to beat. Maybe it's biased because it was my first ship.
Yeah. I mean, it's got everything the Nomad has, but the Nomad has a tractor beam as well, right? So,
but the tractor beam only has one way to get in and out. So if that breaks, you're screwed.
no, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
And I haven't played with the big handheld tractor beam. How does that compare to the Nomad's integral tractor beam in regards to what it can lift or manipulate?
I think that the Nomad has a pretty like it can lift a lot, like ground vehicles and stuff. It's not going to lift a tank, but like neither is like the SRV. I think that it's going to be plenty enough to do what you need in the Nomad, which is get ground vehicles in it. Like I'm pretty sure it can pick up a rock, or you can also like fit a, I think it's 12 SCU. Am I right about that, guys? I think it's like 6 stacked on top of 6. So
yeah, one of my alts has a Nomad, and it's okay.
Yeah, you also get a size 4 on the Titan. I don't think this has killed every other starter ship, but I do think that this is a really good step in the right direction for people who wanted a starter plus. I wouldn't say that this thing absolutely obliterates in terms of efficiency or maybe only in style. That's the only thing it really beats the Titan and the Nomad at, if you ask me.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Its design aesthetic is amazing, right? Its cross section is huge, as we talked about. Though it's going to be easy for somebody to pick apart that's a good pilot.
Now, it can run away really fast, so that's what's going for it. It runs away fast. It can get out of combat. I think that's the play. If you run into issues or run into combat, you just like W key out.
Well, we know that now, but what about when we get the new flight model that has like the 3 modes?
I don't think we know anything about that, right? The Aurora could be meta. Exactly. So it's like we don't really know. So I think we just hold our reservations until we get that new flight model, right?
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. How does this thing going to work with control surfaces? I don't know. It's alien tech. So, well, dude.
And it's just adopting to the new way of landing is the only thing that's different about it, right?
That's the main thing.
A little bit different, but everything else is great.
That's the main thing. Yep. That's the main thing.
But you nailed it by using the
TVI stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
It's just, I think a new player is going to get absolutely dumbfounded trying to take off in this thing, most likely. But I don't know.
Because even because we're so accustomed to flying to land is down, not back, that's, having to make that mental adjustment is about the only thing.
Yeah, that's the big one. But I think it's good. All right, dude. Well, thanks for joining. I appreciate it.
Take care, man.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon. Later. Fuck Zero State. Later.
Yo, mods, I did not approve that line. Get him out of here. That was Dill Gaffrin, if you guys don't know. Good guy. All right, last call. Anyone else want to come on before we leave? Anyone else want to come on before we get back to Star Citizen? Anyone have any thoughts on any of the things we talked about today? I know, Seaside, you said. If you want to jump in Discord in the waiting room, hold the line waiting room would be the place to go. It's Dobra. Okay. Yo.
Hey, buddy.
Yo, what's up, dude? How you doing?
So I come here to talk about stuff that was talked about today, right? Right?
Is it DOBRANICAN, right? Dobranican?
Yeah, or Dobra.
Dobra works. Okay. Dobra works. Okay, cool. Spelling is not my strong suit. All right, what do you got for me today, dude?
Yeah. Something that came up on your show recently. I want to talk about how dare you talk shit on Zero. Zero is Bay Dilly.
Yeah, what the hell? Hey, this is supposed to be a talk show, okay? All right, not a Zero State fan club. Oh man. Okay. You got anything else?
Yeah, I like the starter. Have you seen the new starter? I was pushed back by it at first, but it's got a nice price point. It's kind of flashy. I like the elevator. It's got a weird little bathroom and toilet paper.
It's half of what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I'm impressed with what it is. I thought it was going to be less than it is. 100%.
Okay.
Nomad still kicks its ass. I'm sorry. Nomad is a really good starter
I
ship.
think Nomad's a great starter ship. I just don't like how I get in and out of the Nomad. But to be fair, here's what they should do with the Nomad. I think they should just literally make a grav staircase like they did for this. That's what they should do. Because that ladder is just obnoxious. But I feel the same way about the Prospector. I feel the same way about the Freelancer when you get in the side. I don't like ladder entrances. They're not my favorite. Unless they take you straight to the cockpit.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. The grav stairs on the Nomad it'd be decent because it's already a grav tech vehicle. I mean, it hovers, it has grav tech. So, I mean, implementing grav stairs would be just normal for it. I would think. I wouldn't think it would be a stretch. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be because like you said, it already has the grav landing gear. So it would make a lot of sense to me. And maybe it's like just something that gets updated later on. But the thing is like, that's just a cosmetic thing, really. I mean, really, this thing takes longer to get to the cockpit or just as long as the Nomad. So in terms of like, is it more efficient in combat to get to the cockpit of the Syulen or is it faster getting the Nomad? I think they're about the same. So it's not like a fighter pilot. Oh, did you time it?
Actually, I've actually timed it 26 seconds.
For the Nomad?
For the new one. From us opening the door to getting in, I had one of my guys test it. I have a video. Can I link you the video?
Sure, if you want to.
It's just an internal Discord video.
I also did it, FYI. I also did a test.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
Cool.
I got a pretty similar time. I don't know how fast the Nomad is. Do you know how fast the Nomad is?
I'm pretty sure, like almost 100% sure the Nomad is faster because you just go up the stairs.
It's small. Yeah, it's small. And also, here's another thing. I don't know if the Syulen has an ejection seat. I actually don't know. It might. I haven't tried. Does it have an ejection seat? Can someone try for me?
I don't know.
I have no idea. The Nomad does have an ejection seat. So that is a benefit for the future. But I don't know.
Well,
maybe I'm going to have to jump in game and test this out. It does have an ejection seat, someone says. Wow.
Oh, it does? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I think the tractor beam's definitely enough to win me over on what is practically better, for sure.
Yeah.
Which I think is the Nomad.
The tractor beam just adds so much to that starter ship. It's just, yeah.
I just think that like the rule of cool is so overpowering in this ship. And so I do think this ship's going to win more people over, even if it's a little less practical. But you know what I think I'm most excited for is what Gatac is going to put out next. Like if they keep this style up, this manufacturer and then also Crusader have both really been impressing me. I'm very interested to see what else they're going to release. Like imagine a fighter that's made with this manufacturer or a heavy fighter or I don't know. I mean, the Raylan's coming out. We know about that. So yeah, Raylan will probably be next.
Transport, right?
Yeah. Raylan's going to be a cargo hauler. I think it's like, 200 SCU? Someone in chat might know. Maybe it's like 100 and something. But if the Raylan is anything like this, now, here's my thought, is put the people working that were supposed to be working on the Banu Merchantmen, they left. Put the people who did this ship on the Banu Merchantmen. They're definitely talented enough to do it. Oh, it's 300 on the Raylan. Nice. I thought alien manufacturers weren't allowed to make military or fighting ships. What about the Santok Ya? So that can't be true. What? Yeah.
The
What about
Talon?
Asperia? Yeah, I was about to say, what about Asperia? So I don't know.
Blade, I guess technically the Banu, the defender.
Yeah, the Banu. Yeah. So I don't know.
I will say this. I definitely see the Syulen as a high sec hero. I do not see it surviving too well in lower null, just because it has a huge profile to it. So when you are flying, you're flying nose forward, and it's like two cutties stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
It's not going to be hard to hit that thing.
Yeah.
And all of its HP are in those fins, those front fins, where your weapons are, where your missiles are. So I don't know. I just see it.
It turns really well. You can outturn like an F8C. However, any competent F8C pilot is just going to back up, and you're going to get owned, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think it does okay in combat. The best thing it does in combat is run away. That's what I think. It does a really good job of that. And I feel like a lot of newbies are really going to appreciate that when they learn to disengage, because it does that really well. So cool, dude. Well, is that all you got for me?
That's all I got. That and, Zero is awesome. Just wanted to say that, big fan. I heard Zero. So all
right. Yo, 1 in chat if you love Zero, 2 in chat if you hate Zero. Okay, I want your honest opinions right now, boys. Right now. All right. Yo, Delbra, thanks so much for joining me, bro. Appreciate it.
Have a good one. Bye.
All right, later, bro. All right, guys. Final call for anyone else who wants to join. If not, I'm going to wrap it up here and say thank you guys so much for watching. Again, another episode of Citizen Talk. We will be back next Friday at 2 p.m. CST. And that is just going to be us covering news. And if you have any thoughts about that week's news that you want to bring up, then feel free to join us. I think this was a pretty straightforward week. So, it looks like we do have maybe one more caller. Give me 1 second, whoever that is. Hello?
Hey.
Yo, Demalius, is that how you say your name?
The name is a mispronunciation, so however you feel like.
All right, fair enough. All right, yo, what do you want to talk about, dude?
So I have a question for you about the Syulen. Kind of an extension of the conversation around the cross-section and the combat viability. Not that it's a combat ship, right? But more about the game design. Because eventually the plan is that they're going to bring Maelstrom in and like physicalize damage to these ships, right?
Yeah, of course.
And the Syulen is very much rule of cool, like you're saying. But the first thing I thought when I saw it is the pilot's super exposed. They're just completely visible right in the center, right? So what do you think they're going to do about balancing that?
So,
when, a stray bullet might hit that glass.
Dude, I think honestly, incredible question, because a lot of people don't know about this. Glass in Star Citizen is like one of the hardest materials. Like they have some special like diamond made glass that is pretty hand wavy. It's unrealistic, right? Like, if anyone knows like real spacecraft, there's a reason why they don't put windows on them. It's because it's like a huge technical flaw. But in Star Citizen in the game, they just hand wavy it by going, oh, cockpits are the most strong part of the ship. And that's why they don't die. That being said, man, I would love for like some sort of weapon out there, like a railgun or something, to be able to pierce cockpits. I think that'd be so cool. How this is going to play into Maelstrom, I don't know, man. It's a great question. I think that's a good question with a lot of ships, is how they're gonna perform in physicalized damage. And I think the answer is it's probably going to get killed just as quick as it does now. This thing is not tough, right? It's a big target. It's a weak target. It's just fast. That's the best thing it has going for it. So I don't know. I still personally, I don't know about you. You might be a little more optimistic about it. I personally think that Maelstrom's probably a few years off. It's just a big task. It's a huge task to like do density and hardest on every part of the ship. That's just feels like such a massive task. Like here, I'm going to switch over to our other panel here real quick, just to show off. Like basically it's like, you're going to have different hardness for like right here and right here. and right here and right here. And like each little thing, there's going to be more armor parts than the other. And doing that to every ship in the game is going to be a, I think, long process. It's something I never thought we'd get in game. And I think that, you know, we're going to have to see, I guess, how they deliver on it. But that's the long answer for the cockpit is probably going to be fine.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. And even beyond just the problem of integrating Maelstrom with, you know, the hulls of all the ships in the game as they exist, they weren't designed for that, right? Like,
absolutely,
the ship designs have changed so much over time.
Absolutely.
So do they redesign everything?
I think we're
taking that into consideration.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of that with the vehicle tractor beams. Like a lot of these vehicles very clearly were not designed for them in mind when they first came out, or maybe more accurately, they didn't have the full picture of what it would be like to use a tractor beam on the ship 5 years, 10 years after they concepted the ship, right? And so some of them I think work better than others, but I think Maelstrom is probably going to see some similar challenges as like what you're saying is like as these ships evolved and as these things evolved, some of the ships are going to be like a little bit more, they're going to need some love to like be brought up to current standard, right? So
yeah,
cool, dude.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for joining, bro. I appreciate it. All right, that was Demalius, or however you say his name. He said it was a mispronunciation, but cool, guys. I think that's going to be our last caller for today. Thank you guys so much for joining for another week. Again, like I said earlier, Fridays, 2 p.m. CST. We're going to be doing this every Friday. If you guys have thoughts, concerns, feelings about what's going on in Star Citizen that week, join me, 2 p.m. CST. We'll talk about the news, and then we'll jump into some callers, have some dialogue. I appreciate you guys coming out, and I'll see you next week. This is Berks signing off.